and welcome to a review I'm really happy to be doing this week. It is for a new Eureka title, which is one of my favourite companies to release Blu-rays and DVDs in the UK. They do the Eureka Massive Cinema series, which I'm a huge fan of and collector of, and this is a new title in the Eureka Classics range, which will be coming out next week. You can get it on Amazon, pre-order, that kind of thing, but it's also available right now on their own store, so I can put a link to that in the description below if you're interested, and I'll tell you what the film's about. It's called Rapture, and it's directed by John Gillerman, who did a lot of films, you know, throughout the 60s, 70s, and the 80s. And this film really stands out from the rest of his filmography. I mean, he did The Towering Inferno, an absolute classic, and, you know, King Kong. This is really an intimate kind of character study about a young girl and kind of, yeah, fighting against her oppressive father, I guess you could say. It's a film that's, you know, stars Americans. There's a Swedish actress in this. There's a French actress who plays the lead role, and it's Patricia Gozzi, and she plays the role of Agnes, and she gives an awesome performance in this film. I mean, she's quite young. I think she was 15 when the film was made, and it's all about her, and about her kind of, again, struggling with the oppression of her father, who isn't really even that loving towards her, and he's played by Melvin Douglas, who for me might be the best performance in the film. Very understated. He holds it together, you know. There's a stern kind of facade behind him, but you can tell that there's something more beneath it and that there's more feeling there. And he really conveys that really well, I thought, in this film. Just a fantastic performance, and I really enjoyed his part in the film. And basically, Agnes, you know, she's the young daughter of the family, and her father, he kind of tells her that she's crazy, that she's mad, and that, you know, she has to stay at home and she can't, you know, kind of interact with other people, and she's kind of made to feel like she's not normal, but she really is, you know. And we find out why he's like that and why he's making her think that about herself. And a very interesting story, I think. And kind of the main part of the film, around the second act, is that she really wants to make this Scarecrow, and she makes this Scarecrow after much kind of hesitation from her father's part, because she wanted to use his old suit. When he finally lets her do it, this storm happens, and a guy ends up on the place where they live, which is on the beautiful coast of Brittany, and we see loads of great shots of that throughout the film in gorgeous black and white cinemascope. The film just looks fantastic. Really liked the cinematography used in this film. But there's this storm overnight, and her Scarecrow is gone. Agnes's Scarecrow is nowhere to be seen, and in the shed she finds a young man played by Dean Stockwell, who gives another really good performance in the film. And we've seen him earlier in the film, very briefly. He's basically a fugitive, and we see him basically going on the run, and he pushes this guy away from him who's in the gendarme, and he cracks his head on a rock, so he might be, you know, in critical condition, so he might, you know, be a murderer on the run. We don't know yet. And so, you know, Dean Stockwell's character Joseph, you know, he's done something bad. He's on the run, but we still sympathize for him, we empathize for him, and, you know, we get where he's coming from, and, you know, I like the characters in this film. There's a lot to like and things to dislike, and just very well done, I think. And the direction, again, by John Gillerman was just fantastic, especially when you're focusing on the world of Agnes and her kind of, she basically becomes very infatuated with Joseph, and you know, thinking that he's the Scarecrow come to life. And again, there's kind of the question of whether she really knows that that's not the case or not, or whether she's as mad as her father tells her she is. She's got a very troubled young girl, you know, but again, it's that adolescent kind of thing, coming of age, and in a way a sexual awakening, but it's, you know, the hormones running wild and that kind of thing, and she becomes very infatuated with Joseph. But it's handled very well for a film that has, you know, again, Joseph, who could be around, you know, 18, 19 or something like that, I guess, and she's a bit younger, but it's just dealt very well and handled very well by the director, I think. And the way it comes across on screen, it doesn't come across in a bad light, which it very easily could have, given, you know, the fact that it's a fairly young girl in this situation, and you can tell that she wants to grow up and she wants to become a woman. And there's a woman who kind of runs the household, you know, with her and her father there, and she becomes kind of almost a role model for Agnes, and she's an interesting character as well. Not as interesting and fully fleshed out as the other three main characters, but still, I enjoyed her performance as well. But yeah, Anya, the more that she kind of buys into this fantasy that she and Joseph might be together and have a life together, the more kind of shifted the kind of camera goes. Like, ever so slightly, a scene will be like tilted, you know, and you kind of think that's a bit weird, and then it gets more tilted, and it's really kind of the shift in perspective of her world and her view on things, and you know, whether or not it's kind of realistic or not. And it gets quite crazy at times, actually, and there's more of that at the beginning of the film as well, and we find that kind of frenetic energy that comes out of her character when she's put into certain situations. But yeah, I thought the direction and the cinematography really reflected her character really well, and I like that a lot. But again, Patricia Gozzi, French actress, she was awesome in the film. Really just a really powerful performance, really raw performance. You know, you just really believe and buy into every aspect of her character, and she did a fantastic job. So yeah, I thought it was a great film. I really enjoyed it. The Blu-ray and the DVD, it's a dual format edition. It looked great, sounded great. Again, the cinematography was awesome, and just the huge cinemascopes in black and white. It's in 2:35:1 aspect ratio. And the special features, there's only one, and it's a new audio commentary that was recorded this year, and it's by film historians Julie Kurgo and Nick Redman, and they gave a great insight into the film, kind of how the film came to be, the casting, the production, that kind of thing. The director, John Gilliman, he's getting really old now, he's in his late 80s, so he couldn't contribute to this, but they know him and have met him, and so they had a lot of insight to give to the commentary. And I really enjoyed it. It was really informative, a really fun listen, and just blew by. And yeah, I really liked that. And they also tell the story that he kind of really wanted this film to be released, because it is seen as something of a lost gem, because you know, I don't know, I guess it was 1965, you know, and I guess his more popular films, you know, the bigger budget films are the ones that kind of get more remembered, but he kind of considers this, well, his favourite film that he made himself, so it's great that it's getting this fantastic release from Eureka. And there's also a booklet featuring an essay by critic Mike Sutton, which was really good, really informative. Gives you more insight on kind of the people involved, the actress, Patricia Gozzi in particular, and I really enjoyed the read of that. And then there's some vintage stills from the film, and some of the original posters, which are really cool to see. And yeah, great booklet and a great release. Really recommend it. If you like human dramas and kind of portraits of adolescence and coming of age, but with a bit of a deeper twist to it, then I definitely recommend Rapture. I really enjoyed it. It really surprised me, to be honest. I wasn't expecting too much, but it was a fantastic film. And as I say, it's coming out next Monday, and you can order that from Amazon, or you can go to the Eureka store itself, directly from them. They have it out now and it's shipping now. And yeah, I'd give it a chance if you like that kind of film. Thanks for watching. I have a few more reviews to do for Eureka, a couple of massive cinema releases that are coming out soon that I'm really excited about. So look forward to that, and I'll see you in the next video.
He says he's really cool, but I think he's a tool. Even though I'm sure he's a quite nice guy, really. He's a quite nice guy, really.